Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the HIT podcast. So, in this podcast, we're going to be talking with heroes in taxation and audit, and we're going to be talking with chartered accountants who are achieved in this field. So, welcome to the first episode. So, today we got with us CA Hareesh, who is a mentor for CA students, who's almost got a base of 25K subscribers on YouTube. He's closing in on 25K subscribers. So, do subscribe to his channel and check out the amazing content that he's doing. So, over to you, Harish. If you could just give you an intro of yourself, what you're doing, and how you came here. Yeah.
Hey, hi Arvind, and the viewers. Thank you for inviting me as a guest here. I'm Harish. Like I said, I'm a chartered accountant. I'm currently residing in Chennai. I've been mentoring CA students through content. I'm also the author of the book Substance and Form. Yeah.
Okay, great. Happy to hear. So, Harish, let's just start with the questions. So, the first question being you had cleared CA in your 17th attempt. So, first of all, many people don't even persevere till that. So, in this generation, in today's context, many students, after one or two attempts, they lose hope and they are like, they start blaming the course, they start blaming the shortfalls, and they start criticizing this course. But how did you persevere till here? And how are you what you are right now?
Uh, Actually, I will not say that all the attempts I genuinely studied and then I failed. In inter it took me 7 attempts. I failed in 7 attempts. I cleared in eighth attempt. In final also I failed 7 attempts and cleared in eighth attempt. Of the 7 attempts I failed in inter, and of the 7 attempts I failed in final, the first 3 to 4 attempts were easily attributable to me, meaning I did not make use of the time in the best manner. So I didn't have anybody to complain. But everybody goes through a phase in their late teens and early 20s where they may not have the priorities in the right space. They get, you know, detoured and everything. Like that, I had my distractions. But at one point, no matter how distracted you get, you will hit a rock bottom and you will hit a point of realization, and you have to figure out the way out. For me, I did not have any other option, to be honest. I did not come from an extremely privileged, rich background where I can actually quit CA and I can join MBA in some private school. Nor was I extremely intelligent to sit and study and clear CAT exam, or I can clear any UPSC exam, something like that. To be honest, I did not have any other option other than pursuing with the CA. Again, lot of relatives, lot of friends, they could not see the misery that I was undergoing and suggested that I join some bank jobs or LIC or something like that. And then from there, railways. And from there, you can slowly clear one group and everything. But somehow I was so afraid that it is easy to get into these kind of jobs. But I was very afraid that once I get into the job, I lose sight of my goal of becoming a CA. Even though I was extremely distracted, there was this sense, that deep burning desire inside me that was still on, that one day I have to become a chartered accountant. So I had to double down my efforts on CA itself.
Great. That's great to hear. I think in today's context, I feel most of the students they don't own up for their mistakes. Yes, there are some flaws at the end of ICA as well. Yes, maybe let's say there are 10 aspects. ICA is great in 7 aspects, but they are lacking in 3 aspects. I definitely agree with that. But at the end of the day, I think we need to do a thorough SWOT analysis and come back stronger because at times we end up doing mistakes, and I think that is the need of the hour for most of the aspirants today. So thank you so much for touching upon that, Harish. So over to the
See,
second question.
I want to just talk on that point.
Sure.
See, these days we are able to receive the verified copies, and we are getting to see a lot of students posting on LinkedIn that they have written a genuine correct answer for which the evaluation did not happen to be uh, justifiable to the quality of answer that they wrote, which is a very sad case. I
Exactly. I
really
agree.
feel for that. But even then, if you see on a whole level of like 2.5 lakh students who write inter, and let's say 1.5 lakh students who write CA final, these type of people who genuinely have this unfair correction will be like extremely statistically small amount, I will
I
say.
agree.
If you
It's
see on a
very trivial
percentage
in
level,
comparison to the total population.
yes, yes, the number is the statistics, if you see, it is pretty trivial, I would say.
Agreed.
But I'm not demeaning the emotions, I'm not undermining the feelings. Yes, you have lost 3 months, and you have to, those students who failed like that, that time they have lost, they have to study again for those 3 months. I totally understand. But the other 99 percentage of the people, if you trace their path and go and find the root cause, do a root cause analysis, you will figure out that it is them who has to be blamed. They have to
Agreed.
take that
Agreed.
ownership. So
Agreed.
like how I owned up to my mistakes, if most of us own up to our mistakes rather than just pinpointing the external elements, I think that is like a first step to a better journey.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think everyone says they are an MS Dhoni fan or they are an ardent fan of MS Dhoni, but MS Dhoni ends up owning his mistake in every press conference. He never takes credit for the team's success, but whenever the team loses, he takes the blame. And I think everyone has to take a lesson out of his life, and I think it should be applied in our lives as well. Instead of just saying MS Dhoni is my idol, we should start applying that in our life. Is what I genuinely feel, and I think that's again a very very good point that you raised, Harish. Thank you so much again for bringing this to the table. So the second question
Yes.
which I just wanted to ask was during a CA final phase when you were unfortunately going through attempts, you were also in a job. So you
Hmm.
had quit your job in between because you felt that you did not get sufficient time for preparation. So first of all, despite financial difficulty, how did you convince your family that hey, I'm going to go and quit this job, but at the same time, I'm also going to go and clear CA final. So how did you convince your family? Because I think most of the people who are going through the circle of attempts would be facing this issue. So if you can just put that forward.
I would say I was pretty lucky in my family. It depends on who you are in your family and what is the level of influence you have in your family. Some of the households, the parents may have the extreme dominant, they are still the powerhouses of that family, meaning the father
Correct.
or mother will be the power center of that family. And most of the times, if the father says something, if the mother says something, there is not going to be any appeal from the children's side. So whatever I did may not work in that type of households. But my household, you can say that the power center was kind of like four. All four of us had equal power in that family. I
Great.
would at least say that my mother nor my father, they are like kind of imposing on me. So because after schooling, I went out of my house and came to Chennai from my town, came to Chennai, lived here alone, did articleship alone. So because I had that type of an experience from the age 16 to age 20 to 23, my parents had that belief that okay, he is mature enough to live alone and manage his lifestyle for a good 5 year period. Now if he says that if he wants to quit his job for a time being and we are not going to earn money in that 2 3 months, I think he wants to really he means business this time, and he really wants to come out of this hole that he has created for himself. And let us, yes, we have financially we will be out of resources, but let us just go through this together as a family. They decided like that, we decided like that, and they did not say anything. So I will say that my parents did not stand in the way. That is the first thing. And because our family household, the culture in our family is like that, they were at least not standing in my way. They were, when I said that I'm quitting the job next week, for the next 3 months you are not going to get any money, manage the household somehow, I'm going to focus on my CA final, I wasted my time enough, I'm already 25, I cannot wait beyond this any longer, let me just, you know, switch on the, fifth gear and go the next 3 months and give the final effort. I just said like that, and the parents kind of accepted it. But to be honest, I will say that whether this will work in every family household, I'm not sure. But even if your family has the type of power structure that I said first, like father and mother are like beyond, you cannot even talk to them face to face. There are lots of families like that. If you come up from that type of a family, at least you can do certain few things, like you can be transparent in your behavior, you can always leave your room door open, you can study in front of your parents, and keep doing this for 2 3 months. Not use your phone, don't, take your phone to your bed. Make sure that you are showing in action, because if you say 1,000 words, by mouth that I'm trying to come up, I'm trying to reform myself, I'm trying to do a better job this time, they are not going to believe it. It's as simple as the politicians who give promises before election. What you do after you come after what you do after you come into power, show it in the next 5 years. So
Right.
similarly, if you come from a very tough household, show it in action. Give it at least 2 3 period to, because again, I told this in one of my old videos. Your family, if they are not trusting you, the lack of trust did not happen in one single instant. It has been accumulating for a period of 2 years 3 years, because they had been giving you chances, enough chances.
Right. Agreed.
But you ruined, you sabotaged those chances, you hanged out with wrong people, you watched all the movies first day first show, you were so drowned into your mobile,
Right.
so they
Agreed.
lost the trust. Now if you want to rebuild that, it is going to take time. Yeah,
Agreed.
I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. I think in today's context, many people feel scared to speak with their parents. They feel scared to open up. They are like, if I open up, it would lead to a lot of conflict of interest. It would lead to a rift, or they have a lot of apprehensions inside them. They have a lot of second thoughts. So I feel if they just overcome that and speak openly, I think it will lead to a better relationship and a lot of
And
clarity.
how can they overcome that? How can they overcome that? That they can overcome that feeling only it goes back to the first point we discussed in this
Right.
podcast. Own
Right.
up your mistake,
Right.
have that humility, get out of this entitlement mindset.
Right.
A
Exactly.
lot of us, when we are in early 20s, I was the most egotistic guy when I was in my 20s. I'm not saying I'm not today I'm 35. I may say like I'm talk like I'm a man full of wisdom or anything. But if you had seen me when I was 21, 22, I was the most egotistical person in the world. I was the most entitled kid in the world. But if you see you have such traits in you, you have to slowly work on how to remove it. Just make sure that you are just like everybody else. Yeah, go on.
I think this reminds me of an incident where Sachin Tendulkar, when he was staying in Chennai in one of the hotels, actually one of the person who was an employee of the hotel came up to him and said, "Sir, your arm pad is actually hindering your bat flow. So if you're able to adjust your
Yes,
arm pad accordingly, you can bat even better and your bat flow would be better." I think even when the
yes.
great Sachin Tendulkar can rectify that, I think who are we? I mean, like we are
And
nothing in
recently, I
comparison to.
think he asked about it in his Twitter, like, can you find out this person? Who is that? This person?
Exactly.
He told this.
Yeah. Right. Right. He had tweeted on that. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. You are Sachin Tendulkar. You don't have to listen to a
Exactly.
hotel room boy. But yeah, that goes on. That shows why he's still Sachin Tendulkar and the level of humility he has. 24
Agreed.
years in cricket is not a joke, isn't it? Yeah.
Agreed, 100% I agree on that. And the next question which I wanted to ask was like in relation to your YouTube channel. So when you had initially started your YouTube channel, it wasn't blowing up as much as you'd expected. You were not getting the reach that you were expecting or the reach you were deserving. So how did you go through that phase? And I remember you telling in one of your videos that you'd taken a flight to Nepal. And once you landed in Nepal, your subscriber count skyrocketed like anything. So how was that phase? How
Yes,
was that
yes.
moment? And how did that happen? Can you just take us through that?
I started my YouTube channel on 15th September 2023, and I was posting roughly one video every 10 days because I did not have any editor or anything like that. From scripting till upload and everything, I was doing it everything by myself.
Great, great.
So each video in the beginning days, each video cost me about at least 15 hours, right from scripting till filming and editing everything, 15 hours. I
Right.
also have another business to run. I have a teaching business. So it was a huge grind in the early days. But then you spend 15 hours, 20 hours and upload, and then the video doesn't pick up. Again, you don't have a big brand value, already established brand value. You don't have like big advertising money. You don't have anything like that. You just keep uploading, keep throwing the thing and wish something will click on. And so one day I was also actually mentoring students at that time. One day one of my students, during our weekly call, she was saying that why I'm feeling so down. I feel I keep comparing myself with a lot of other peers. I feel I'm always two steps behind from them. It was This was the thing that she was going through. And to address her worry, I was telling that, why do you even compare yourself? The people that who you are comparing yourself currently, in another 3 years, another 4 years, they are not even going to be in your life, most likely.
True, true, very true.
So I was actually answering her query. And Once I finished that call, I had a sudden epiphany that, okay, why not let me make a video about this?
Right, right,
So then I created a video, along with a couple of other points. I just made a video, three things I learned by failing CA 14 times. And the first thing was, no friendship is forever. So this was the
very true,
video I made around early February.
very true.
Right after I uploaded that video, again, that video didn't even do pretty well at that time. But comparing to all my other video, it was going on well. I shared it on my WhatsApp and Instagram. This was the first time when people actually clicked on that video and reached out to me personally on WhatsApp and Instagram. I saw this video. The first point was extremely true. I was getting a lot of feedback, and even that main video was around 200 views, 300 views. It was going on like 50 views per day. It was going on slowly.
Great.
April 19th, 2024, I was actually going to my wife's place in Nepal, and the flight was from Chennai to Delhi and from Delhi to Kathmandu. The
Okay,
first leg of the flight, I boarded the plane around some 5 o'clock or 4:30 something, and the subscriber count was around 400, 450 subscribers.
okay.
When I landed on Delhi and I connected, switched on the phone and everything, when I refreshed the screen, it was showing some 850 subscribers,
Whoa.
and the comment section was flooding, and the video has crossed like 1,000 views, 2,000 views, 3,000 views. And from September 15th till April 19th, I had, imagine how many ever days, okay,
Mm,
like 4 months plus almost 6.5 months.
right,
The channel had 450 subscribers. In the next week, the video went viral. Because that one video went viral, all the other good videos which I made previously, they started having traction. And in the next 1 week, I gained 10,000 subscribers.
great,
So I just want to explain that whether it is content creation or career, early days, you will not see much of a return. You will see the return is going to be, the grind is going to be hard. The progress is going to be invisible. But if you just keep at it, not just blindly keeping at it, you have to refine a lot of things. It's not that I kept uploading every video blindly and just hoped something will work.
right,
I uploaded everything. At the same time, every video I was taking input from the data. I was seeing where the audience is dropping, which thumbnail is working.
right.
Every video, one way or the other, you will have some data. So
Yep.
you get the data, do some scientific work, and still keep the effort, keep the uploads happening. You will hit a jackpot at one shot. Yeah,
For
so
sure.
that's the story.
I think I can draw a lesson or two from this because I'm also just starting out. I think it was very, very insightful, I think. And I think another
Yes.
thing which I wanted to point out was actually that video only landed me up onto your channel. So the video where you had talked about your lessons. So I think that is the video that led
Six,
me to your
six
channel.
out of
And that is
6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 audience who are currently following me for the last 2 years or 2.5 years. That video has been the gateway.
right. And I think that video is the reason for the podcast today. In some way or the other, it is directly or indirectly contributed to this podcast. So I think I'm really happy that that video led me to your channel and to this podcast post that. And I think
Yes,
another thing
yes,
which you really pointed was about slow success. I think slow success definitely builds a lot of character. And I think in today's generation, everyone wants to make money quickly. No one wants to invest for long term. Everyone wants to trade in futures and options. And at the end of the day, they end up making a lot of losses. I remember CA Rajagopal sir, one of the eminent faculties for SFM. He said that I don't trade in futures and options because I failed at it. So when someone of his stature can say that I failed at it, I don't know if we can probably even succeed at it. So I think people need to draw a lesson from this that fast success actually leads to fast failure and slow success leads to a lot of growth that you wouldn't have even imagined actually. So I think that is a lesson that
yes.
we can probably draw from your points that you mentioned. And I think, yeah.
Yeah,
So over to
go
the
on.
next
Yeah.
question, Harish. So
Uh,
so how did you take the risk of quitting your job post CA? Your job was going well once you cleared, and how did you take that risk? Again, how did you convince your family because you were earning well, everything was going
okay.
well,
The first time I quit my job, it was 2015. Family was financially down and out. At that time, I had to take a bold call. It was a risky thing. But the second time I quit my main job, this was 2019.
okay,
The by the in the gap of 4 years, a lot of new things have happened. I became a CA. I was already 3 years old in corporate. I started drawing some very good money monthly. I paid off all the debts, and I saved almost, let's say, an X amount which would last me for a full year.
okay,
Okay, so the whole thing, the thing again, once you become qualified, you really don't think you need a lot of guts to quit your job unless you are stuck in debt. So
Right.
if you ask me, this is again a very good question. Again, if somebody is watching this who is a CA, who don't like their job, they want to quit this and find a career, a calling that they want to pursue from their childhood, if they want to start a business or get into even practice, but their current job, their current flow of income, if that thing is let's say, see, if I quit my job, of course that monthly income flow is going to stop.
Right.
So that is going to be a hindrance for a lot of people who want to take that bold decision.
Very true.
A lot of such people cannot take that bold decision mainly because they are stuck in debt.
Very true.
They get qualified, they get into a good job, they make 90,000, 1 lakh take home, and within that they will first buy their car, they'll
Right.
upgrade to an iPhone or Samsung S24 25 ultra model, whatever it is, 1 lakh 30, 1 lakh 40,000 phone. And they will have, it's not something that I'm pulling out of a thin air and I'm building a case like this. I have seen such people
Very true.
on my office. They
Very true.
worked two workstations next to me. Guy who used to be, he used to have 4 5 credit cards.
Oh.
Every credit card limit is full. He had 6 to 7 EMI. He purchased the Royal Enfield, he had iPhone, he purchased a new house.
Hmm.
He was paying at least 6 to 7 EMIs every month.
Wow. Okay.
So there was no savings that was going on. Okay, house I will kind of exclude from this list.
Because it is a
But
sentimental
every,
value.
yes, it has a sentimental value, plus it will appreciate, it has a land component to it, it will
Right.
appreciate, it's a good, probably it may kind of makes sense about from investing point of view. But buying a new Royal Enfield or buying a new iPhone, the you can as well do the job in 30,000 rupee phone. Why do you need a 1 lakh
Very true.
50,000 rupee?
It's all depreciable
Again,
at the end of the day.
it- yeah, it's totally, I'm not making a judgment about
Very
their
true.
personal decision, but it's because of their personal decisions, some decisions like this, they don't have that independence, they let go of their independence. Even their job is not able to give their independence. For me, my biggest personal virtue is freedom, is my independence.
Very true.
It has since childhood, I always wanted to control my schedule. I wanted to live my calendar in my own terms. If I wanted to take a nap on a Wednesday afternoon, 2 hours, I should be able to do.
Right. Right.
So I wanted that type of lifestyle, and my corporate lifestyle was not letting me have that. So I always wanted to, find an exit, find an exit, find an exit. By 2019, end of 2019, I had already saved up the money. I paid off the debt first.
Great.
I was saving more than 60 to 70% of my salary.
Great. That's a big number. That's
I
a very big number actually.
I was still living in a rented house. I pay off the rent first. The moment I pay off the rent first, and then I set up some EMIs and pay auto payments in such a way that when I get salary, I will pay off the rent for that month's rent, and then pay off the debt component, and then I will take another 20 30,000 for the savings, future savings. I kept doing this. Again, this is a slow process. It did not
Right.
that I started on day one, and in day
Very
30
true.
I got my 1 year corpus.
Very
I
true.
started this around early 2018, and it took me 18 months to get this corpus. And when I realized that I have 1 year corpus ready, I quit my job because I know that I will figure out something for sure in that 1 year. And that's when I started writing my book, Substance and Form.
Very true. I agree with that. I think even Ankur Wariku, he said the same. It took him a lot of time to clear debt, but he played the waiting game, and that is why he is where he is right now. And I think everyone has to play the
Yeah.
waiting game. There's no quick trick to success, or there's no secret pill to success. I think you need to play the waiting game, and that's the only way to success, is what I feel.
Doing the simple things for an extremely unbelievably long period of time. Doing few basic things for a very long period of time.
Agreed. Agreed. So Harish, I think just to wrap up, just want to ask, what's your plan for the future? I mean, I'm not sure if you have a 5 year plan or something, but if you probably have a vision board or if you have the slightest idea of what you want to do and your thoughts going ahead. So if you can just share that for our audience, please.
Yes, I do have a 3 year plan.
Great.
I 3 year plan, and I kind of reverse work it into what I should do in this quarter. So my immediate next big project is I'm writing the second book. It's like a sequel to my first book, Substance and Form.
Great, great.
So when I wrote Substance and Form 5 years ago, I thought I had given everything, whatever I knew. Okay, so Substance and Form was about the person who was at 2021. Whatever I knew until at that point of time, this book is the output. In the recent 5 years, from 2021 till 2026, again I learned a lot of things. I read a lot, I researched a lot, learned a lot from the audience of my channel, students who comment and everything. They have new problems which are not addressed in this book. So I'm writing, I found there is a need for the next book. So I'm writing the sequel of Substance and Form. You have to title that book also, but the first draft is almost done.
Great, great.
So I'm planning to release that book probably in the second half of the year. I don't
Great.
want to get into the date because again, just now I've completed the first draft. I have to.
Exactly.
It will go at least 4 to 5 revisions.
Quality stuff
Once
takes
I
time for sure.
complete once, sorry.
Quality stuff takes time for sure. So
Yes,
just give it the
yes,
time for
yes.
sure.
So once I get that book published, I will. I'm planning to make an integrated masterclass type course for CA mastery. So
Super.
there may be some people who may not read books, not that into
Right.
reading books. So I want to make it like this masterclass.com type of high quality course,
This is like a
maybe
double-edged
around 8
sword.
to 10.
True.
Yeah, 8 to 10 hours of a proper course. So I'm planning to make that, so that will take place after the book is done. So these are my big projects, a couple of big projects right now.
So, on a closing note, if you can just give one message for any CA aspirant as an elder brother, what would that be?
Okay, as an elder brother,
Yeah,
it is not as hopeless as it may look like today. If you don't take things for granted, you may be extremely intelligent. Your intelligence does not matter. You may have an IQ of 140, 130, but if you don't do certain things right, very simple things like keeping the phone away 20 feet away whenever you are working, making sure that your phone usage doesn't cross 1 hour per day,
true.
keeping the phone away when you sleep, very tiny things. If you just keep adding them one by one and also give yourself enough time, in another, who knows, another 20-30 months, your life will be completely different from where you are right now.
Agreed, agreed. Very true. So, I think it was a very, very insightful session, Harish. I think the biggest takeaway from this session was that I think the waiting game is the best game to play. There is no secret pill. And I think once you play the waiting game, once you do the simple things right, you're on your way to success. And from there on, everything you touch becomes gold. So, that's the biggest learning
Yes,
we can take out of this.
and I also would like to thank you again for giving me this opportunity for you to come on the very first episode. So I really wish you all the very best to
Thank you.
for this channel to have a lot more very good guests, very productive advice. I want it to be shared from your channel. Let this
Thank you.
channel be a good medium for good insights to be given to CA students and this whole CA CMA community. I wish you
Perfect.
all the best, Arvind.
Thank you so much, Harish. Thank you. Really happy to kickstart this series with you. So thank you so much again for your time. We had a great time and I hope the audience will also enjoy it. So do shoot down your
Yeah,
comments, guys. And if you have any doubts or if you want to reach out to me or Harish, you're most welcome to reach out. So you can just comment down below and we will definitely respond to that. Thank you so much again, Harish. Thank you.
thank you.